Okay, boys and girls, we're going to be going to look at pound JPY, and if you're lucky, you might see her get her clothes off because she just got out the shower, and she come up to visit with a coffee, and she's kicking off because I've put the camera on, and she hasn't done her hair. So put the hat on. Put the hat on.
Oh, thank you.
Put the hat on, and play with your knob.
Listen to you.
And then you'll be happy because she's nearly naked, you know, boys and girls.
You just type some numbers in your phone for us.
What? Oh, you fucking bitch. Not right. Sorry, not that you can see this, but that sign on there means that she's shopping and I have to pay for it. Fucking cow. Right. Right. Bear with me a second, boys and girls. Everything we do here is live, obviously. Crap. How fucking much?
You said get it.
Is that for like an eyeliner thing?
No, it's for lipstick.
30 quid for lipstick. Fucking 30 quid.
Well, I'm getting perfume next, so hey.
What?
And they're getting together.
Well, why didn't you get it at the same time?
Because I could only get a big bottle from there and I just wanted the smaller bottle.
Oh, fucking hell, saving me money. Wonderful. Jesus Christ. Right, sorry for that little interlude. It's Friday. We had a disaster. I'll explain it at the end of the video. Let's just look at this because I need to get into this. All right, so I don't need any indicators. It's about to burst through where I'd positioned. So I need to drop a quick order in, which I'm going to do now. Above it, it's going to be for about 14 pips. And kabash. Right. Okay. So I've got the order in. Oh, the order's triggered in before I can move it. Bollocks. That's your fault.
Oh, yeah, blame me.
I am blaming you. Fucking cow. Right. So. It's not a good day in the scruffy house. So. I was requested in the Scruff by Simon, and it's first come first served, pound JPY, okay, and done the markup and then dropped it into Tracker Plus. Now on here what I do is on top of that markup that I've put in, I actually track it down into a trade, which is what we are essentially going to be doing right now. Now, from here, I also put in updates of what I expect the market to be doing, etc. Now, they can read the video, one thing and another, and I'm about to just drop this in as we speak because we've just turned top of the hour. Okay, so there we go. So what it's telling me is to wait, but we are looking for a 14 pip target. Okay, so that's what that's all about. Now, one of the things that I do is if I just pull this across and switch that off, we'll see what's going on with this particular market. Now, the pound is relatively weak in comparison to JPY, which is pushed up, but there was pound news this morning, which will, in a sort of way, drive the market a bit. But if we look on the change of strength from the last data sample, JPY lost a lot of ground, whereas the pound didn't. So the pound's kind of holding its own a little bit, which might be explaining why it's pushing to the higher point. Now, this higher point that we're looking at is sort of following what's going on here. Now, if I move this out to the hourly so that we can see it, what it's done is it's come down across here, filled the gap from the weekend. There's a colossal drop here. Buff. Went back to where it come from, and now it's looking to break out. Now, if it's looking to break out, now you can either look at a singular extended market or you can look at the full point. So it started there, ended here. So let's just have a look at the full point. So that would be from there to there and then back again. Well, what that does, this shows me roughly where the market's trying to get to. Now, what it's done is it's already attacked the 127, which is here, went back down into range, held above the pivot, which is here, and then came back to where it started and is now taking a run. Stopped again on the pip with this candle on that 127. So its next running point, because it hasn't really looked back from here, is going to be the 161, which is up here, which is giving us the target. Now, it might take it a little while to get there. I'll give this to about 12 o'clock, and then I'll be looking to get out if I haven't already got out. Now, I can also stage in against this particular move here, so I can get extra. And what happens in that scenario is, well, if I've got the money that I'm looking for, I'll just get out. Nice and simple. Nothing wrong with sacrificing trades, guys. Nothing wrong with sacrificing them at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to play it out, and you might see extra orders come in, and then eventually we'll get out up here. Okay, so we'll take this down into 5 minutes so you can keep half an eye on it, and then we'll see how we get on. Catch you in a bit. Okay, guys. Quick interlude to the video to answer a couple of questions that's asked on pretty much every video I do. What platform do you use and what companies do you use to build your small accounts? Well, it's very simple. To build a small account, I primarily use BlackBull. Why do I use BlackBull? Well, it's very simple. Got loads of products and it's a leverage up to 1 in 500. Now, I use the leverage to open an asset, not increase the position. But as I go through this, what it means is I can just trade micro accounts up. Currently at this moment in time, we're on doing a little challenge, which is from £15. And as you can see, there's the full statement running through as we go all the way down, just little bits, bump, 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 bump. You can run it and keep going. It's currently £96 worth of profit, which equals 111 quid. And let me just pull this down, and there you go. It's a live account, okay? Because everything I do is live. Now from here, what I can do is I can then move over into a prop fund, and the company of choice is the Fivers. Why? I trust them implicitly. I've used them for years, and I've never had one issue getting paid. In fact, I get paid all the time from them. And this is how I build up accounts. So I use those two companies. Now, both of them, when it comes to platforms, use MetaTrader 5, TradingView, and CTrader. So you've got a great choice here to work with. My personal one is MT5, and I also kind of use a web trader as well. But I do know a lot of people like to use TradingView and CTrader. So you have the great opportunity to do that. And then if you want any further details of it, come onto my website, thescruffytrader.com. This is the only place you'll find my official contact details. I've even got a WhatsApp that I will contact, because I do not DM anybody through Discord, Telegram, Facebook, anything like that. It comes from this. So if it's not from thescruffytrader.com or you've contacted me through WhatsApp, it's not me. And then in here, what you'll find is the various tools. You can go to the downloads that I use, and it's all here. So you can quickly download them. And there's little bits about who the Scruffy Squad is and what goes on. So let's jump back to the video and keep on moving. Okay, guys, that's that job now complete. So just go through the routine. Nothing's running, get my tickets off. And there you go, 70 quid done this morning. Now, trading on a Friday is a pain in the arse. I'm not a fan of it at all. And it's why I essentially try and take Friday off. Because the markets are a little bit unpredictable. If you're caught in the market, well, you've got to sit on it all over the weekend. You've got extended spreads on a Sunday night. You've got the opportunity that it might gap on a Sunday. And the chances are it'll gap in the wrong way to which way you're going. And then you've got to deal with Monday as well. So there's quite a few things can cause you some real issues if you are not prepared by trading Friday. Now, my rule of thumb is very simple. I don't mind taking the odd trade on a Friday morning, but once I get to 12 o'clock, that's it. Nothing. And more often than not, if I haven't entered a trade by 11, I won't enter a trade at all. The only time I genuinely do is non-farm payroll. And that's because that's reasonably predictable, and also I kind of get goaded into doing it. But most of the time, I don't want to do it. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to trade a Friday, kind of be a little bit respectful of the chart and be conservative. Now, it took me a little while to get into this trade. Now, I could have got in a bit earlier on, but it was extended. And I needed for it to shorthand and relax a little bit, because if I went to market while it was extended and it was actually at the turning point, I would have a real issue. A little bit like the issue for the Wild Wonder here, who keeps wandering up, taking her bloody clothes off. We just come back from holiday and her bags didn't turn up, so she's kicking off left, right and centre because her straighteners were in it, all her lipsticks, her makeup, her dresses, you name it, were in her bag. And so she's on a merry mission at the moment, as you might have just seen, to replace it all. And Muggins here has to pay for it. Brilliant. So it's somebody else's fault, and I'm the one that's have to clear it up, which then leads to other elements of the world. I did a post today. It wasn't really aimed at anybody in general, but it was aimed at the world in general. Nobody takes responsibility anymore. When somebody makes a mistake, it's always somebody else's fault. You know, sort of case in point, people will log into that computer on the wrong account, but it's not their fault. It's the computer's fault. Or it's the company that they're trying to log into's fault. It's never their fault for just going, oh shit, I've got the wrong username, man. You know, I've seen it so many times where people have logged onto that broker and they've got two accounts. And what they do is they've got like a small account and a big account. Well, they log into the little one, but size it as if it's the big one, obviously blows up. And then they go, oh, well, it's the broker's fault. They should have told me. Well, no, it's not. It's your fucking fault. You did it. You take responsibility for it. You put a trade on. You haven't done any homework. The trade goes mad. The first thing that's out your mouth is, oh, they moved the market to hit my stop. They were going for a liquidity hunt. Well, first of all, liquidity hunt is just utter bollocks, right? Because nobody can really see your orders. It is hypothetical. And if you think for a merry second an institute is going to move a market to take your pound out, you're fucking delusional. Absolutely delusional. And when you talk about stop hunts and one thing or another, it's not what you think it is. It's actually the bigger market just positioning themselves, working on an assumption of there may be an area that we can manipulate the market here to induce orders. They're not there literally to take you out. They're just better at the job than you are. So you've got to take responsibility for that. Because always remember, if you can see something, so can somebody else. And if that person's better at it than you and they've got more money than you, they will use that scenario against you. Think about playing chess. How many times do you sacrifice a piece to win the game? Quite a lot. That's all trading is. You look at some of my small accounts. I can't ride the noise out, so I have to sacrifice. So it has quite a few red marks in it. But that's because I'm getting in, so it's not quite at the right area. Take the trade out, replace it with a reposition, and then the reposition pays it off and ends up with a net profit. That's just trading, guys. I don't go 100% into the market and then go, oh, they took me stop out. It's all planned. A little bit like what you've just seen right now. Anyway, I'm very easy found, as I often state. Just drop down in the description. You get all sort of my contact links, or visit scruffytrader.com, and that's the only official contact details that I use. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.